जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजना यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजना यमुनातीरावनचारी यमुनातीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जामिष्टपाद परमहंस प्रजकाचार्य अष्टोदशत श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस इसी भक्ति विधान स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जामिष्टपाद परमहंस प्रजकाचार्य अष्टोदशत श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत से ठाकुर श्री प्रभुपाद अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की जय मायापुर नवदीप धाम की जय पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय कलियुग पावन श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे ऑल ग्लोरीज टू assembled devotees all glories to assembled devotees all glories to assembled devotees all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1st, Chapter 19, The Appearance of Shukadeva Goswami, Text 5th. अथो विहायेमम् अमुं च लोकम् अथो विहायेमम् अमुं च लोकम् विमर्शितो ह्येयतया पुरस्तात् विमर्शितो हेयतया पुरस्तात् कृष्णाङ्घ्रिसेवाम् अधिमन्यमाना कृष्णाङ्घ्रिसेवाम् अधिमन्यमाना उपाविशत्प्रायम् अमर्त्यनद्याम् उपाविशत्प्रायम् अमर्त्यनद्याम् अथो विहायेमम् अमुं च लोकम् विमर्शितो हेयतया पुरस्तात् कृष्णाङ्घ्रिसेवाम् अधिमन्यमाना उपाविशत्प्रायम् अमर्त्यनद्याम् माताजी We shall read word by word meaning. Atho, thus. Vihaya, giving up. Imam, this. Amum, and the next. Cha, also. Lokam, planets. Vimarshito, all of them being judged. Heyataya, because of inferiority. Purastat, herein before. Krishnangri, the lotus feet of the Lord. Sri Krishna. Sevam, transcendental loving service. Adhimadhyamana, one who thinks of the greatest of all achievements. Upavishad, sat down firmly. Prayam, for fasting. Amartya Nadyam, on the banks of the transcendental river, the Ganges or the Yamuna. Translation and purport. Translation. Maharaj Parikshit sat down firmly on the banks of the Ganges to concentrate his mind in Krishna consciousness, rejecting all other practices of self-realization, because transcendental loving service to Krishna is the greatest achievement, superseding all other methods. Purport. For a devotee like Maharaj Parikshit, none of the material planets, even the topmost Brahmaloka, is as desirable as Goloka Vrindavan, the abode of Lord Sri Krishna, the primeval Lord and the original personality of Godhead. This earth is one of the innumerable material planets within the universe, and there are innumerable universes also within the compass of the Mahat Tattva. The devotees are told by the Lord and His representatives, the spiritual masters or acharyas, that not one of the planets within all the innumerable universes is suitable for the residential purposes of a devotee. The devotee always desires to go back home, back to Godhead, just to become one of the associates of the Lord in the capacity of servitor, friend, parent, or conjugal lover of the Lord, either in one of the innumerable Vaikuntha planets or in Goloka Vrindavan, the planet of Lord Sri Krishna. All these planets are eternally situated in the spiritual sky, the Paravyoma, which is on the other side of the causal ocean within the Mahat Tattva. Maharaj Parikshit was already aware of all this information due to his accumulated piety and birth in a high family of devotees, Vaishnavas, and thus he was not at all interested in the material planets. Modern scientists are very eager to reach the moon by material arrangements, but they cannot conceive of the highest planet of this universe. But a devotee like Maharaj Parikshit does not care a fig for the moon or, for that matter, any of the material planets. So when he was assured of his death on a fixed date, he became more determined in the transcendental loving service of the Lord Krishna by complete fasting on the banks of the transcendental river Yamuna, which flows down by the capital of Hastinapur in the Delhi state. Both the Ganges and the Yamuna are Amartya, transcendental rivers, and the Yamuna is still more sanctified for the following reasons. Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnana-jana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Name Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sate Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone for today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. Those who are here in the temple hall and those who are hearing online. So in this verse, we can see that how Parikshit Maharaj is now on the banks of the Ganges, desiring to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, the glories of the Supreme Lord. As we can see that how this discussion has evolved to this level now. Maharaj Parikshit, who was the king of the world, he had everything with him. He was the representative of God. Naradev king is said to be the representative of God. It was a very, very responsible position. He was above everyone and almost nobody was equal to him. It is a very, very exalted position he had. And we have seen that how even at that level, there was one mistake he committed. And because of that mistake of offending a Brahmana who was in his meditation, he realized that mistake, that yes, I have committed this mistake and I will get some reaction. He was preparing his mind. While after he came back, he realized that, I should not have done this thing. Although I was afflicted with hunger and thirst, I wanted some water, a glass of water, and I could have gone to some other place if I didn't get in this ashram. So, unfortunately, it was late, because by that time he had committed that mistake and he had returned back. And he was anticipating that he will get reactions soon. And he was ready to accept that in a positive way. He was not going to react again. And he was thinking that, in fact, whatever comes in front of me as a reaction, it is good for me. he was not going to complain. He was already preparing his mind that whatever comes in front of, and it will help me to improve my attitude. At that time, my attitude was not proper. Maybe I was inflicted or affected by pride, my position as a king, and which is not a good sign for such a exalted person, such a responsible person. Pride is very dangerous. And if something comes as a reaction and it helps me to improve my personal self, that is most welcome. And as he was in this state of mind, the news came, the breaking news. Today's time also everyone is waiting for breaking news. And we have seen earlier also that the news of this material world breaks the heart, right? It is not a good news any time. Breaking news is going to break your heart. The recent incident of Odisha train accident is very, very sad, which is breaking the heart of almost so many, all of us. Why such a tragedy happened? Whose mistake was that? Who committed that mistake, right? People are trying to find out who is the culprit, will penalize him. So, whatever mistake has happened, whether it was a technical or whether it was a deliberate, that will probably CBI will try to find out. But mistake has happened. The tragedy, so many casualties, people have died. So when a mistake happens at a greater level, then the repercussions are also very heavy. The magnitude of the reactions are also very heavy. So king had become introspective by this time, and he was trying to rectify himself. And he received the news, the breaking news, that the curse has come upon him. The curse which is going to change his destiny. The curse which is going to change the course of his life. And the curse was within 7 days from today, he was going to die. And not just a natural death. It was because of a snake bite. Takshaka snake, which is snake bird, it is said that earlier snakes were able to fly and come from any side. And Takshaka snake had a very, very dangerous poison in his teeth. And he was going to bite him. And that way he is going to die. So we can understand what kind of death he was awaiting. Sometimes a death notice is given that this person may live for maybe 1 month or something, or a few days. People start preparing. They're in a different state of mind. They're depressed many times. Here we can understand the position of this king. He had everything. So much power. So many people under him. intelligent council. There were ministers under him. It was such a big kingdom. Animals are also part of his praja, horses, elephants, cows, all types of animals, birds, the whole entire world, rivers. He was the richest person of this entire earth planet. And he had to face such a destiny. So many times we may lose the faith, oh, why these things are happening to such a great person. And if such thing is happening to him, and if something happens to me, we can't handle such a small jerk or a jolt in our life. But this kind of situation in his life, it had completely shattered all of his dreams. We can understand that he was not an old king, that he was just waiting to die. He must have been in his middle age. And middle age is considered to be second youth, right? The youths have a lot of dreams in their eyes. I will get this job, I will get this home, I'll marry, and so many, I will expand my empire. And after some time, one starts realizing that it is not what I am expecting. I need to minimize my expectations, be practical, right? Do the needful, whatever is possible, whatever comes on my way, I should accept it positively. And the middle age, again a second expectation starts developing, wave. That okay, now I couldn't get, but now I have some opportunity. There is a good opportunity coming, and I will utilize that. I will put my best, try to achieve what I want to achieve. And King Parikshit was almost in his middle age. We can understand the expectations he had, the achievements he had accomplished, the empire he had built. It was all his. Nobody could compete with him. And that is all going to end within 7 days. This is the situation. So we can understand the amount of stress and anxiety he was going through. Right? We cannot understand actually because you are not on that position. Or we can just understand what is meant by even Maharaj, or somebody like who is a very exalted person, who is a very famous celebrity, or so having that kind of position, fame, name, achievements is not easy to handle. We may think that, oh, this person must be very happy. He has achieved so many things. What is the problem? He is our big batsman, giant spider. So he has everything, so many millions of followers. What is the problem? But we cannot understand what that person goes through. So many people are watching the performance and all that thing, everything is noted. So here this news, when it came to this king, he could have revolted it back. He could have sent his people to destroy that ashram. Where is that ashram? Who is that Baba? Let me expose him. Put all the armies around him. He could have done that. But he understood that. He accepted it positively. he was not in a denial state. When the reversals comes in our life, what is our attitude towards our life? How we reflect within, whether we take it positively or we blame God, that why God is sending all these problems. He is the main culprit here. I am doing everything good, but God is not helping me. That is the final weapon we can raise. And we start blaming everyone. So here the king, when he understood that he's going to die within 7 days by a snake bird, Takshak, he accepted that. He accepted very positive. He was extremely positive. And he was ready. He was ready for accepting that curse. We can imagine that what mindset he must be having. What kind of resilience he exhibited. It was a test of his Krishna consciousness. Whatever he had practiced in his life, this was a testing moment. Whether his practice is proper or not. Whether he is able to handle this test or not. Srila Prabhupada also explains in Krishna book, the 10th canto, the greatness of a personality has to be estimated by his or her ability to tolerate the provoking situations. It was an extremely provoking situation. It is a question of life and death. He will not be there in this material world after 7 days. Not just losing the position as a king, but not in this material world. Can you imagine that we are given such kind of notice all of a sudden? It's very difficult to handle it. You may need a lot of counseling and antidepressant medicines to come out of this kind of trauma, right? But he accepted it. He understood that my position as a king has no value. My control or power over all these people has no value. My wife cannot help me now. My son Janmejay, he also cannot help me. This royal dress or royal crown is not going to help me. It is extra burden on my body. The sword which I am carrying and going all over to protect others is totally useless now. Because I need protection now. I am in a vulnerable situation. So he entered into that space where he understood that he is helpless. Sometimes the external material achievements, the position, power, it kind of deludes one. One starts thinking that this will save me in my difficult situation. My position, my control, my bank balance, my family, my network or net worth. But at this kind of situation, nothing can save us. So we must understand that we are helpless in this material world and we need shelter. We need shelter of the higher powers who can actually protect us from all calamities. And that protection is on the higher level, at the level of the soul, not at the level of the body. The body is going to die. Sooner or later, it is going to face that inevitable death. And it is not that we have died only once, or we are going to die only once in this life. We have died many times in our previous lives. We have died and taken birth. All those pains we have undergone. But when we think of the death, we again become scared. Because still we are in the bodily platform of life. And here, this king is going to face this death. So he understood that whatever the magnitude of my achievements or the power is not going to help me. I cannot defeat or prove myself by the magnitude of my achievements. I need to improve my attitude, not by magnitude but by attitude. This is very important because that right frame of mind is extremely necessary to receive the grace of the Lord. Because the more we are banking on all these various things, till that time, God will not help us. We need to helplessly depend on the Lord. Yes, I am totally dependent on Him. And that is the right frame of mind. That way we will be in a proper position to understand, receive the message, and purify our heart. So, king is going to lose his kingdom for one small sin. It was not that serious. The sage who was offended also did not take it seriously. When he came out of his meditation, he saw the dead snake on his neck, he just removed it and threw it away. He didn't think that it is such a serious offense. Whoever has done it, let it be. I'm not affected by this. But his son, Shringi, he became like Adbhuta Shringi. He became extremely angry, like Narsingadev, and he cursed. And the king was going to lose his kingdom, the empire or the power on this earth, the kingdom of this earth. And we also have committed one mistake, all of us, since we are in this mortal world. We have also committed one mistake, the original sin. It is explained sometimes in some other religions. That original sin, why we are in this mortal world. And that original sin is giving up the kingdom of God right? This king committed a mistake and he lost the kingdom on earth. We committed a mistake and we lost the kingdom of God. We were in the kingdom of God, happily serving. Everything was there provided. But somehow other, we wanted to become separate from God. And Lord, of course, God for us is Lord Krishna, the beautiful blue boy, who has such nice cascading hair. His mother has put a very nice tilak on his forehead. Such nice sparkle in his eyes. His lips are reddish like a bimbo fruits. And his small teeth are visible. That small child, our beloved Krishna, he was requesting us, don't go. Don't go in this dangerous, difficult, depressing, devastating, distracting material world. Be with me. But we were very, very obstinate. We were very, very stubborn. And we lost the kingdom of God. So therefore we must understand that there is a different way of calling, Krishna's calling. And sometimes he has to put somebody in difficulty. Because as long as we are dreaming, we cannot awaken, right? We are having nice dreams about this material world, or we are sleeping. Then we don't know what is the awakened state. And therefore these dreams have to get shattered. To understand how the real, these dreams have to break. Then only we awaken. So the dreams of this material world are different bubbles of illusion. And sometimes we think that this name, I should achieve name, followers, millions of views, or so many likes. We get affected by this virtual or social currencies. And we think that that is all in all. That is the real happiness. I got one like, extra like than other person. My followers are more than my competitor. What a great happiness, right? But this is temporary. This is going to bind us in this material world. So therefore, just imagine all of that is going to end at some time. How much difficulty it will be for us. Even for a few minutes, we don't see our mobile. Right? What happens to us? Where is my mobile? Especially when we are traveling in a train or somewhere. We think that, oh, I lost my body. I am in the part of my limb of my body. One small attachment, and we are so many small gadgets, and we are so much attached to it. So just imagine, entire thing we are going to lose. So it will be so difficult. So here King Parikshit is having that kind of fate waiting for him. And he understood that, yes, this is not going to save me. And therefore, he was preparing. Atmajaya Sutagara Vashudravena Bandhush. How he gave up all of that. Rajya cha vikalam nityam virudam mamato jaho. It will come in the next few chapters. King Parikshit was able to give up Atma, his Dehatma Buddhi, the bodily identification, that I am the king, I am maintaining everyone. Everyone is under me. Everyone has to be subordinate to me. Atma Jaya, his wife, he had to give up his wife because she's not going to be helping him at this final moment. Suta, his son, Agara, the palace, such beautiful palace, elegant palace. He had to give up. Suta, Agara, Prashu Dravina Bandhush, his treasury, so many animals, all that he was going to give up. He knew that everything is going away. It is not his now. It was in his mind that everything belongs to him, that he is the king. That was in the mind. She is my wife, this is my child, this is my treasure. It was all in his mind, that mental attachments had to be given up. And he was ready for it. He gave up his royal kingdom, his royal dress, everything. We can imagine whatever he had, he was left with nothing. And we can see the picture of Parikshit Maharaj. He is shown like a simple Goswami, Kaupina Kanthashrito, wearing a simple loincloth and in a submissive mood, trying to hear the message of God, message of Srimad Bhagavatam. So we must understand that there was a huge journey he traveled within those moments. At one time, few moments before, he was the king of this entire planet. And few moments later, he was a humble inquirer, trying to understand absolute truth. It's a huge journey. So therefore, we must understand that the king who was King Parikshit, that personality is a different personality. And now Parikshit Goswami is a different personality. He is not same as the earlier king, because he was holding all those attachments within his mind. Now he don't have those attachments. He doesn't have those many attachments. He's just like an ordinary person trying to understand the truth. What is the goal of life? What is the duty of a person who is about to die? That is what is needed to receive the mercy of the Lord. So therefore, we must understand that even the king had made a mistake. He was given another chance. And that he himself rectified the mistake. Sometimes there is no one and we commit mistake, and we don't feel that there is a need to confess or atone for. And we just go on with our life again. But if somebody is sincere, one will think that, oh, I did this, committed a mistake, now I should become more careful. I should not commit mistake again. I should not take the process of Krishna consciousness for granted, that this will be pardoned. So king, he rectified himself in a very severe way, very, very exemplary way. He had his duties towards the kingdom, his citizens. He was performing that. He was providing all the necessities, the food, shelter, everything he was providing to all people. He was protecting them. But in this situation, he's setting an example. He's setting an example at a different level. What is the duty of a king in this situation? Or a person who is given this kind of death sentence? Even at that stage, he's actually doing a welfare activity to all of his citizens. They are not his citizens now. But still, he's setting an example for them. How to face death. How to become humble. How to remain positive. How to improve the attitude instead of trying to increase the magnitude. Because life is going to give jerks, jolts, accidents sometimes. Our dreams get shattered. How we remain resilient. This is an amazing example we can learn actually, that this king, he is showing that kind of resilience in his life. And this change was from within. This change is not an external change. He has not just given up the dress and put on the dress of a renunciate. He was actually renounced from within. He had become a highest, topmost sannyasi who doesn't have any material desires. He's just thinking of the welfare of all. And he's just trying to glorify the Supreme Lord, even in that situation. So that is the amazing change he exhibits. Therefore, sometimes we expect a lot of change, right? But situation should change. Sometimes we are not happy with somebody in the ruling power. We want government to change, right? Something goes wrong, government should change. This minister should resign or prime minister should resign. Immediate, kind of very big penalty. Anybody can stand up and start claiming. But what is the change? Change is not external. We have to change from within. Just like an example is given that many must have observed that sometimes a person is trying to park a car or unpark a car, whatever. And it is a difficult kind of place. And what happens? The driver is sitting inside and there is one person standing outside, sometimes behind or front or something. And he's just signaling, right, left, kind of just signaling. And through the mirror, the driver can see that, yeah, I have to move left now. I have to little bit move on the right and then go a little behind and front. And then he can park the car or unpark the car. So please come in the front. So what is this example? What is happening in this situation? The person is sitting inside. He doesn't know what is the proper place to move the car. Person sitting outside knows that the car should move in this direction. little bit, few inches here. And when the person is signaling from outside, he is giving some instructions, some guidance, some sign languages. He is trying his best. And a person within, inside the car, driver, he understands those signals. He understands that now I should move, and then properly moves the car. Then what happens? He is going to park it properly without any dents or bends and dashing other cars. Right? If he doesn't listen, then he is going to commit a mistake. He is going to damage somebody. So similarly, we must understand that we are conditioned souls. We are sitting inside. And a liberated soul is trying to give instructions that don't do this or do this. If you follow those instructions properly, then we will become liberated. But if we don't follow, then we are not going to get the instructions properly. We are not going to rectify ourselves properly. So therefore, we must understand that transformation is a two-way process. The person who is outside, he is giving some positive guidance, so much good motivational talks these days. And the person who is listening also should be willing to change. If the person is not willing to change, then all the knowledge, all the talks and so much information is not going to change the person. So therefore, it is a two-way process. And therefore, it is also explained that if you want to, you cannot open the door from outside if somebody has locked it from inside. Somebody has locked it from inside. You are banging the door, open the door. You are screaming, you are shouting, open the door. But the voice is not reaching. The person inside is very strong. He is not opening the door. Maybe he is not hearing the voices, he is not understanding, or he himself is not willing to open the door. So till that time, that change is not going to happen. So therefore, we must understand that if we want to see the change around, then first of all, we need to change from within. We need to change from within. We need to improve ourselves rather than trying to prove ourselves. We need to change our attitude rather than increasing our magnitude. And therefore, the change can be seen. Even the journey of Parikshit Maharaja was from advanced devotee to a very, very advanced devotee, a liberated devotee. That was the journey of Parikshit Maharaj. He was not just a struggling neophyte devotee and then he became a devotee. He was already an advanced devotee. But from that level, he also realized that I need to change from myself within. I need to improve my attitude. Then only I can reach to the high altitude of Krishna consciousness. So therefore, as long as we are holding on all the previous negativities, all the previous fault-finding tendencies, all the previous way of judging a person, what he did wrong ages before, and trying to bring that in the present, till that time we are not changing ourselves, neither we are allowing others to change. So therefore, there are many lessons from this story, King Parikshit's story, that how we need to change from within and improve our attitude. Hare Krishna. Time is up, I think, because of Jagannath Ashtakam I started late, and therefore I'm ending at this time. Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anybody has any questions or want to ask anything, they can meet personally. Thank you. Hare Krishna.